Welcome back to another episode of Multiblock Madness 2. I've actually done quite a bit between episodes. One thing I did was craft up... Oh, that's interesting. I think that's the squeezer. One thing I did between episodes was craft up the simulation chamber. Ironically, I didn't try to craft it up between episodes. I had another recording issue. But I had to... I changed the recipe for a few things. One of which is the dielectric casing. Now is this rather than a miniaturization recipe. I might keep the miniaturization recipe now that I think about it. For people that already have it set up. But maybe it gives you two, for example. Because it'll be a lot cheaper on the plating. Yeah, so I just re-enabled the miniaturization recipe for 2. It is double the amount of scaffolding, but about the same amount of structural alloy, so I think that will check out. I've also changed the recipe for heavy engineering blocks. This potentially could change, but it switched plating from mechanical components, and then structural alloy bolts from glass, the obsidian glass. So the goal... Oh yeah, and then I also added another tier to this recipe. The bucket of herbicide recipe only gives 2 now, and then a biodiesel bucket gives you 4. The goal being this recipe here is like self fixing. So once you have access to... Rendering is all bugged right now. But once you have access to heavy engineering blocks, you can then craft things that make it easier to make. For example, this metal press makes the plating cheaper, and the refinery makes the heavy or industrial alloy itself cheaper. I did consider making the components more expensive, but that just feels like an unfun thing to do. And I'm not about that. Don't get me wrong, some components I still have changed recipes and made more expensive. Particularly like circuits and chips and whatnot. Just because that's fun. But, yeah, a lot of components, especially these ones. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I went to, I was going to check something. And then I realized that the recording wasn't working. So I want to show the in mechanical plating, I believe it's called. So this is the mechanical plating recipe. Will I do this exact thing? Probably not. But the idea behind this, which is used in a lot of places... Oh man, I love this pack. Yeah. This is fun times. So, like, same with this. The idea is to kind of, like, make the mod... Once you're done with the mod, make it non-obsolete. So the stuff required to make a multi-block, like, this is essentially just like a pseudo multi-block. Stuff required for it is used in other recipes. As you can see, I've used it multiple places. Like, this turbine rotor is... I mean, this is stupid expensive, obviously. But it's used for, like, infinite power, effectively. This metallurgic infuser, reinforced star metal, like, this stuff is just so fun. Look at this. I love this. It's just super cool. So, like, yeah. This is obviously, like, a beginning mechanism recipe, but it uses everything you've done for immersive. Like, all the recipes so far. I feel like I definitely made this pack a little bit too cheap in the way of resources. Like, I feel like I should have just buckled down and said, hey, this gives you 1. I wouldn't say I regret it necessarily, but I will say that it does seem like an oversight. You don't really need high ore processing, which is something that I'm definitely planning on fixing in this one. Stuff is expensive. You need ore processing. I don't think you're going to need 64x for anything but the rarest ores, but honestly, that's okay. This is so dumb. This is definitely quicker than melting it and casting it. Still a little barbaric that I kind of just wander around like picking up stuff and throwing it on the ground, but one step at a time, you know? One step at a time. I think I actually have enough to craft this. Apparently I have to manually craft it like a barbarian. Oh wait, what am I missing? Oh yeah. I'm working on crafting those travel anchors as well. Making some ender ingots. I just realized I'm gonna need 2 batches. I also realized if you wait, hold on. Can I convert this? Yes. So what I'm doing is melting this down here, and then picking it up with the reservoir, and then putting it in that tank, which empties it into that spout, which shoots it into that. You could say automated, but it's yeah, you know, that'd be wrong. Oh, I rearranged the quest book a little bit as well. Graphite electrodes connect to the squeezer. You can see a little bit better what actually uses this. The squeezer is not actually required for the alloy ingot. It was just required for the arc furnace. It was kind of in a line. Also, the simulation chamber is after the squeezer now, or closer. All right, I've got the Enderman data model for whenever I get enough power and for whenever I get the matrix. So black iron, I'm gonna say graphite might be a cool base for it. And then from there, I'm not really sure yet. I swear, I overthink the most basic things, just pretty much everything. Like, I mean, I should just do something like simple, but I don't know. Got myself a hemp farm, and yeah, there's no sales in there. Apparently, you can just do that. I think you can do it with like slabs or something too. Perfect. This has a void upgrade. I don't necessarily need one, because it'll just stop working. But I also do kind of need one because it'll back up on 1 if I don't have it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using the seeds a lot more. So this one here is irrelevant. I'm guessing these ones will be as well. I think this one as well. I think so. So I'm going to figure out some way to make this a little bit quicker, I'm guessing. I could just make it 1 bigger. That would be pretty easy. The reason it's this big, obviously, is because there's water underneath. So, yeah. But I could put water here and so on, because I'm pretty sure that this section right here won't be able to be harvested, because there's nothing there. I didn't think it would work, but maybe it will. Either way, let's see what 1 rotation gives. It's got 70. Must have done that first. Pretty good. All right, I like it. I'm pretty sure it will not be enough, but I also can generate some source if I feel like it, which could be fun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this will not be enough, but it should be pretty easy to expand. I even could do like a gantry setup where I like harvest multiple fields, because that could be cool. I've been doing a little bit of work adding recipes for some integrated dynamic stuff. Primarily the logic cables, which use a new material called illuminated mineral. This is crafted, it's actually supposed to be a tier 2 alloy, but it's crafted like so. And then it can be used to craft up crystallized alloy dust, which uses a mineral resin. This has to be gotten from trees. So it's it pretty much requires just the farm. And then this stuff is used to make the interfaces, item interfaces, and then the fluid and energy interfaces from there. These are pretty much used to craft everything else. Like, you can convert it into a filtering one, an importer, an exporter, and then from there go to world energy. So yeah, that should take care of integrated tunnels simply being the best, and also the cheapest. Now it's just the best, but not the cheapest. I'm still kind of working towards getting stuff set up for automation. I have been thinking kind of about making Quicksilver be used in the mirror craft to make it a little bit more cheaper, like for late game stuff. Because if I follow through with my idea of got this spelling, more like typing, honestly. If I follow through with the idea of making the generation 1-to-1, as in you need one solar panel one for every generation, or every FE a tick, so like this would take 32,000. I think right now it's about half that, because every 4 panels make 2. So it's doubled every time. So this is like 1-to-1, and then this is doubled, because this is all 4 of these equal 32, but it gives you 64. So it's roughly, I don't think it's half, because this would be double, 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 double type of deal. Anyway, point is say I make this actually be 32,000 tier 1s and so on and so forth. It's going to be a lot of mirrors, especially if these require mirrors as well. So if I have a cheaper recipe for mirrors, I know it's not expensive, as is really. It's literally 1 silver per, but that's still 3 silver. Which is fine, obviously, because it's dielectric alloy is not exactly the cheapest. Well, it is kind of the cheapest. Yeah, it is super cheap. But the treated wood cost is actually probably the more dramatic of the costs, to be honest. Because this is, what's that, 125, which is 4, so you get 4 per. So it's not even, it's like 1 1/5 quarter, 1 1/4 Coke. Anyway, point is that's probably gonna be the more expensive cost. And that being said, I probably should craft up some more. So yeah, I'll probably wrap this episode up soon, I think. I'm guessing there's pretty much enough time recorded. I would kind of like to automate biodiesel though. The way that I want to do it is through applied energistics, so let's see if I have enough resources to do that. I think I'm going to do a separate network. Maybe. So we're going to need a couple storage presses, as per usual. I really want to get more slime. Like, these sticky pistons are getting kind of annoying to craft. It'd be nice if I could get this, but then I'd have to set up stuff. Tempting though. This is definitely an idea too. 2 gold stack upgrades is ridiculous. You can fit 4,000 per stack. It's like having an upgraded drawer per stack. Like, there's an insane amount of items in this one chest. I'm working on a drawer system. I'm gonna need fluid drawers. I've got enough for, I think it takes, I'm gonna want, realistically speaking, I'm probably gonna want like a 2x2. I might be smarter. Because you do get 4 2x2s. So you get 16 different fluid storage. Maybe I do this one instead. Because that way I can have a little bit more freebie fluid. As opposed to with a upgrade. But upgrades really aren't that expensive, so I'm tempted to just do all 1x1s, because they're not like that expensive. Like, these ones do require more invar. I mean, to be fair, you do get 4. So like I said, it's 16. So it's 4, 16, and 1. So it's a pretty bad ratio, but, you know. I am happy that I didn't change these. Like, I might change it to make it just a little more interesting, but I don't think I'll change it to be harder. I don't think that's the point of these redstone servos, necessarily. Like, if I did change it, it would probably just be to have it, like, a different, like an alloy, like red alloy or something. All right, so I've got 8 drawers, 8 1x1 oak drawers, and 4 fluid drawers. And I've got a storage bus and a controller. So I decided what I want to do is use import and output buses. Let's see. So what do we got here? To put stuff, we need to do a formation core. And I've got export, so that would be, no, I need annihilation cores. We'll just do that many. Man, these sticky pistons. I wonder if I couldn't make a recipe to use super glue and like not consume the item. All right, testing. I just did damage, I didn't do keep, so let's see what happens. This time I've added keep ingredient. And try number 3. Perfect. But it doesn't actually damage it. Here we go. Perfect. Now we're good. Oh. I think we're golden. I'm going to leave it like this, just so it looks a little bit cooler. Hopefully I can make this jump. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it like that too. So I'm going to use an import bus on this drawer here instead of a storage bus. Literally just because they're a little bit cheaper. And then I've got this set up here on the roof. My little spider web of AE. It's getting power just from this. Actually, it's not. Hold on. Energy output. There we go. Now it's getting power. And this is another 16 channels right here. I've got a little drawer connection set up. As soon as I put this, it should start to import. Cool, cool, cool. I'm not planning on voiding these, at least not at this particular moment in time. I'm just going to use a combination of import buses and export buses to get stuff where I need it to be. So the first thing I need to do is to squeeze the hemp seeds. So that's going to be, let's see, where are you? That's input, yeah. So an export bus there. I think I can just do hemp seeds. I need to make another like half dozen import export buses. And then we're going to have an import bus here. Oh, yeah. And then connect everything with cable and we're good to go. I'm basically just going to go through the roof. Like so. This is so unique to build like this. I'm assuming that, well, there's a ton of different ways to do it. But I really just enjoy applied energistics, so I'm just gonna try it. You could also just literally pipe the stuff like from one machine to another. Like I'm pretty much going, well, the refinery is actually down there, so. But the fermenter is the next thing I need, and that's gonna take apples, which I already have. So, So one thing that's definitely on my to-do list is gonna be the simulation chamber. I don't know if I'll do that next, but it's definitely coming up. Being able to double fluix and quartz is very handy because you need a lot of it. I wonder if there isn't a better way to do this. So where I make apples is right here, which I don't think is actually connected. I would need another storage bus, or I could make another create farm, but it feels dumb to do that, seeing as how I literally have apples already. I guess it's really not that fast though, to be honest. Looks like potatoes might be one of the best. Potatoes or tomatoes. I guess melons might be good too, because you get 9 per. I think you can actually grow these in the cloche. Yeah. That is actually interesting. Because then you can split it like that. So you get a little over double, but it takes power to grow. Obviously, you don't have to use this, but it takes power to grow and then power to split, because there is no uncrafting recipe. Sugarcane seems pretty decent as well, but I don't think that there's like SNAD. So that leaves potatoes, really. In order to grow potatoes, I actually need potatoes. So I'm hoping that this snowy village has potatoes. Or I guess that I run into like wild potatoes or something. Seems unlikely that a snowy village would, but you know, here's hoping. It's interesting, as a pack maker, I look at mods by like what they craft or how they craft rather than what they craft. Like I feel like a lot of like players will look at Botania, for example, and they'll say, that's a mod that gives me, I think it's like sash, S-A, sash, no, what is it? There's like a belt that you can get that I guess is like really good. And I don't think about that when I think Botania. Typically, obviously, I am thinking about it, but only because this kind of exercise I have, what is it even called? Like, see, I feel like a lot of people would just know it by, there we go, Sojourner Sash. I think this is like one of the first things you want to get as soon as you can. Gives you like step assist, speed, all sorts of good stuff. Hey, potato. I'm gonna take all these. I don't know if I need them or not. Ooh, horse flute. There's also a lot of gems and stuff, but at this point I don't really need them. So they didn't have potatoes growing, but they did have them in the houses, so I'm thinking about using gantries and having like 2 farms that like both get harvested by the same thing. But gantries are pretty wild. Like you can do crazy stuff with these things. Like if you have like a 3D brain, you can just make ridiculous things. Like look at this. And then you can have that, like, look at that. What is going on with that? But yeah, my plan is basically farm here, gantry here, farm here, and then it like kind of like moves over here, spins, moves back, spins, and then like maybe drops off the stuff in a 3rd spot. So I think I want a mechanical bearing attached, no, I'm going the wrong way, to the gantry. And then I need to have the harvesters. I'm thinking about doing like a double, sorry if it's dark, I don't, apparently, you know, dark is a thing. But yeah, so the plan is basically to have it like this. And then, although upside down would be fun, right? That's what I was kind of thinking before. So if we have the chassis going like this, we got harvesters here. And then because we're going to be rotating it, so we want to have like this, I think, would be cool. That way it doesn't have to spin as far. It only has to spin 180 rather than 360. Then we put a bearing here. And then a chassis like this. Oh, right, it needs to have a gantry. So I think it needs to be like that. And then we gantry right here. I think this will work. And then if this has rotational force, then it'll move back and forth. And then if this has redstone, then this will spin. So we do have this tablet of overgrowth, which obviously I want plants to grow faster. And there's also nature's aura, which automatically makes plants grow faster. As far as like what we have access to at this stage in the pack, I believe that's pretty much it. Oh, elemental craft might have something. Here we go. A growth shrine. Let's see if I can check in the book. I think Elemental Craft is one of those books that don't really tell you until you craft. Like I have to craft this shrine to get information on the various shrines, which I think I can do. Apparently not. Although I do believe I actually have enough of these if I just pillage them. This should give me more info. So we're basically looking at, I would say, the growth shrine. From its level up to 3 blocks above it. Okay. So I could place it below, or it looks like I could just place it, kinda, on the same level. I think I'm going to worry about speeding up growth a little later and focus on mostly just getting it set up. So I think this wireless receiver is... I feel like this is, wireless... Oh, that's right, I got rid of the wireless terminal. The wireless crafting terminal. I feel like it might be a little bit early game. I want to have it be a little bit later, I think. Like kind of a titanium unlock. I say that because I really would like it right now, but I feel like I'll appreciate it more if I have it later. I just realized the potatoes are going to be on the ground, so I need different heights. So in theory, I could gantry to gantry as well, and use the second one for the height. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to go with for this. They're not sticky yet, so this won't even work, but this is what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to 180 it. I hope this actually, like, you know, is something that will work, but should be. So the problem is our rotation is the wrong way now. This feels weird, but I can use this to change the angle. And then from here, linear chassis. Like so. This is so extra. I love it. Yeah, so this should work. What was it? 7? Not counting the middle. I think that's right. So in theory, I should be able to just raise and lower this. I honestly think this is going to be a headache to set up. And then I can slide it back and forth with this. Got a potato farm and a hemp seed farm. Got ethanol and vegetable oil. Last thing to do is combine them. This should be as simple as just plugging this in. Also, this one particular location can't be tilled, which is strange. Alright, it should be as simple as that. And then the other one was vegetable oil. Okay, perfect. Now, all we need to do is grab a bucket of biodiesel and put it in this drawer. Now, one thing I have noticed is that you can't put it in a locked drawer, and it won't import to an unlocked drawer. Oh no, it totally will. Well, that's fine. So this one should still be locked to ethanol, probably. I'm guessing ethanol will be too slow, because we don't have a ton of potatoes yet. Now, I did just set this up separately. I was kind of like, it's not worth the sweat trying to figure out exactly how to do this. Also, I will upgrade this with better or auto growing soon. So there we go. We've got hemp seeds, potatoes, vegetable oil, ethanol, and biodiesel. Now the biodiesel can be exported into this little fella for better industrial alloy instead of using herbicide. Or what I should do is use this guy, the assembler. My next order of business after I automate that is going to be crafting these two machines. The excavator I'm not as sure about, but I think you can get like more than one vein per... Well, you can get a vein and then it has like a byproduct as well. So you can get like 2 different types of compounds. And then this one is obviously super necessary because the 4K power is pretty huge. Anyway, that is gonna be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, I'm releasing an update pretty much as soon as I release this episode.